If you're new to my YouTube channel, please click that subscribe button and remember to click the bell icon to get notifications of all my uploads throughout the week. So this is my Large Dilutions art journal, and I spent some time ages ago just sticking down random pieces of paper or doing remnant rubs, that kind of stuff, on some of the pages, just so that I wouldn't have a blank page when I wanted to try and start something. So I'm going to work on this page today. I've got some white gesso. This happens to be the white gesso good from Indigo Blue, and I'm just going to smother the white gesso all over the pages, all over both pages, big double page spread. I'm just in the mood for slapping paint all over in a kind of random, non-exact and nonsensical kind of haphazard way today. And I haven't really got too much of a plan as to what I want to do in this art journal. I kind of have a picture in my mind of something I'd like to do, or something I would like it to look like when I'm finished, but not exactly how it will look or how I hope it will look. I've got the basic amorphous shape of the art journal page in my head, but not the exacting shape and colour and balance and composition or anything like that. Don't have any of those ironed out, which kind of sounds strange, but I know what I want to do, I just don't know how it's going to work. So I'm literally just covering the page with that gesso, and then while it's still wet I'm going to randomly introduce another colour into it. There we go. So, and I'm not even going to bother cleaning off my paintbrush. I'm going to grab another indigo blue paint. This is called Peppermint Tea, and it's kind of a really, almost a pastel green. It's a lovely kind of colour. I like to think of it as a heritage colour, like a heritage green. And I'm just going to paint in that green into the background. And the gesso is still wet, so it's mixing in with that gesso, but not exactly. I'm getting kind of a mottly, blendy background that's not too stark white, but not too green either. So the area that I painted on the gesso first, it's obviously started to dry a little bit, so that's fine. I'll just introduce that colour across the pages, up and down, left and right, but nothing too exact. Yeah, that will do for now. So I've dropped my brush into water. I have a water pot just over here, just in the corner of shot. There we go. I'll just put that gesso to one side and then bring up my heat gun. I'm going to get it nice and dry before I do anything else. So I'll get this done and then I'll be right back. That's all nice and dry now, and I'm in the mood for painting circles. So I'm going to grab out some paint. So again, another pot of paint from Indigo Blue. This time it's Steam Whistle. This was a prototype pot, which is why it's not got the proper label on it just yet. It should kind of look like that, but I got mine before the labels arrived. So I'm going to grab just some of that grey, beautiful steam grey, and I'm just going to paint circles, because that's the kind of mood I'm in today. I'm in a circly painting mood. I'm not particularly going to paint exacting circles. kind of roughy ones, ruffian circles. Do 2 or 3, and then I probably will be happy in this colour. I dropped it there, so I'm going to add some now. It said put paint here, like put paint here. Marvellous. One more, I think. There. Big, grey, slurry kind of colour. Marvellous. I'm just quickly rinsing off my brushes so that they're ready to work with. Now, I did get asked a question about the brushes I was using, so these are them. They are Crafter's Choice Royal and Langnickel. They have a kind of silicone rubberized grip there, which makes them quite easy to hold and grip. They're short handle brushes. I prefer short handle brushes so that when I use them, it doesn't play havoc with my autofocus on the camera, as so many do. The long handled ones, like the Dina Wakley long handled ones, the minute I do that near to the lens, the computer or the camera tries to focus on the end of the brush and everything goes blurry, which is why I like using the short ones when I'm filming. So there you go. Royal and Langnickel. Crafter's Choice. Right, so we have our slurry circles down. Let's get them dry so we can move on. Okay, so they're pretty much, there's only like a few small little areas that are just slightly where I got a lot of paint, where they're a little bit wet, but don't worry. So next I'm going to add another green. So this again is another colour. This is called Olive Waistcoat, which is another lovely green from Indigo Blue. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful colour. I'm going to get just a slightly bigger brush this time. And I'm going to do some more circles. Told you I was in a circly kind of painting mood today. Another one down here. Now the paint on this one doesn't feel quite so thick as the other one. This is a bit more translucent, not quite as thicker consistency on this one. This is part of the Junk and Disorderly range from Indigo Blue, so it's probably deliberate. These are ideal for doing your acrylic pouring if you're an acrylic pourer type person, because these are quite liquidy, if that's a real word. Fluid, there you go. Quite fluid. Right, so I've got 3 of those rather lovely olive waistcoat circles down, so we can put that paint away before I get my elbow in it. Okay, brush clean, heat gun, and off we go again. So next up, now that they're pretty much dry, I'm going to bring in some rouge. Now this is part of the Indigo Blue Junk and Disorderly paint range for portrait painting, but I love that colour, so I'm going to use it in my art journal for no other reason than I can. and I like having a big pop of colour. Look at that, a lovely reddish pink. Definitely a rougey colour. Now I'm hoping that my camera is doing these colours justice, because obviously until you finish you never really know. And also your viewing at home, I don't know what you've got your computer monitor set at, what the temperature is. It could be a warm setting, it could be a cool setting, so these colours might not necessarily be in real life as you're seeing on your screen. What's that old saying? Colours may vary. It's not really covering very well over there, is it? I might have to go back and give that a second coat. Or not, as the case may be. Now, because I've gone over, I'm going to just add some more big splodges of colour over here. And we've got this. I need one more. We're going to do it. Let's do it over here. Nice big splodges of colour. So we've got triangle, kind of got triangle, and that's going over this side. And that's following your eye across, so that'll do nicely. Lovely. Feel like there should be something down here. So maybe we just give in to temptation and just do a small one. Let's just dry that off a minute. Let's just do a small pinky over here. That'll do. Like it? Okay, dry off. Back in a bit. Okay, so they are mostly dry. I've now got some Sharpies. So brown Sharpie. And I'm going to doodle now. So I'm going to doodle around the circles. Go over, go around. Okay, I'm liking that. I want some white now. I want some white. So I'm going to see if I can try and find a Posca paint pen somewhere, and I will be right back. Right, in my collection I've got all of these different white poster paint pens. I've got a Posca in 2 different sizes. I've got a Uni Paint, big white one, and a couple of Sharpie ones. Hello, Mr. Bentley Booze. Somebody's just come back from his walk. Hello. All right, yes, I've seen you. I've seen you. Thank you very much. Good boy. And a couple of Sharpie white pens. Now, I've had this lot for quite some time, so this is going to be interesting to see if any of these actually still work. Well, this one is, but for how long? Yes, I know, Mr. Bentley Books. I love you too. Doing well. So that's the big one. Yay! You're Mr. Bentley back then. So that one's done quite well. Let's have a look at the Sharpies. Let's see whether they've worked. These have got more of a pointy nib. More scratchy than anything. No, don't like those, so they're going to go in the bin. Smaller Posca. That's got, again, fine point. That's not too bad. That's a bit dribbly actually. A lot of paint should come out that one. Yeah, that's just leaked. So the others are the Uni Paints. I can't even get the lid off that one. Solid. No. Let's try the larger one. No, they've set solid. So, bin. Sharpies in the bin. So the only two really that have lasted all that length of time without any problems at all have been the Poscas. Now that's a good advert for you. Now I don't think I've actually touched these for about 2 years. So that tells you something. Don't it, boys and girls? It means I need to get out and get some more Posca paint pens. Cool, okay, get them dry. So I think I've got most of that white dry. So next up, I've got a Black Dilutions paint pen. I've had these for a while. I've had it for a while, but never really used it. So I'm going to just see how it works. How often you've got to keep on loading it up. worked first time, but I don't know whether it's... I thought they were designed to work on paint. But they don't seem to be. I don't think it's because I've not activated the nib. Yeah, that seems to have brought a bit more paint down. And she's supposed to put the lid back on. Otherwise there's little black paint everywhere. I don't know. It seems to be coming down on my glass mat. I'm not pressing that hard. But no, I think I'm going to give that up as a bad job. I'm not blaming the tool, I'm probably blaming the person that's using it, probably not using it right. So instead I'm going to grab a food ball pen, of which I have plenty. I know they're going to work first time every time. Without even trying, look. Like it, like the black. I did say I was in a circular kind of mood, didn't I? Scribbly circles. Can't go wrong. Not in my book anyway. Okay, so I'm going to give that a chance to dry a little bit, and then I think I'm going to add just a little bit of journaling. So sort of almost dry, but not quite, but I did realise that I hadn't actually added any black squiggly circles into the centre. Kind of in a very doodly, circly kind of mood, aren't I? Is that all of them? I think it might be. Just, oh, I missed one there. There you go, see? Right in the middle. Little touch-ups. Just to get those dried off. So I think they're pretty much as dry as they're going to get. Now I've got some Tim Holtz remnant rubs here that I don't really use all that often. So I'm going to try and use some of them up. Some have actually come off on there already. So I'm going to just randomly just pull some of this stuff off. Just anywhere. I'm not really bothered where. just to fill in some of these little areas on the page. Just like that. So let's see if we can get all those off. Cool. So we can use all these bits up. Just to add a little bit of interest into the background. I'm going to put the full word there. Adds a little bit of interest into that background. And then we've got the other sheet. And then I can start just adding in randomly some of those words. They can all just come off wherever they like. Random scribbles. Just in the background. Literally all I'm doing is just finding a space and just rubbing into that gap. And all the letters seem to be coming off just in that right kind of area. That's giving it a real cool, well, I think so anyway, cool kind of look. Loving it. Like it. So what else can we put in? I don't know whether I need anything else. Do I? Should we stick another one of those over there? And then maybe something across there. Like it. So when you can't think what to do with these things, don't even try. Just find a space and stick them in. Half words here, half words there. Nearly lost half a word there. Something up here, maybe. See, these remnant rub things, that's not something that I would normally buy. I don't even know where they came from. Unless Ian's bought them for some reason and he didn't want them either. So he's put them in my collection or my stash, which is quite possible. If we do find stuff or have stuff in our collection that we don't want, we tend to see whether the other person wants it rather than waste it or throw it away. There's nothing over here, is there? Like it. It's fun just to play with these things. Just randomly scribble them on. Cool. I quite like that. It's not really saying anything at all, which is part of the charm. And then finally, I think they can go just there. And then we'll call that a day. That'll do. Now I'm happy with that. Considering I have no real idea of what I wanted to achieve today, there's no real focal point, there's no real phrase or quote or anything like that on there. It's just a mishmash of almost stream of consciousness. So that is going to be it. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to sign it and date it and call it done. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, without whose generosity and support these videos would not be possible. Thank you.